let's just get started, all right? So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write down the names of 2 or 3 people. Now, I'm not going to limit you, all right? But at least 2 or 3 people you love the most, all right? Write their names down. 2 or 3 people that you love the most. Like when you think about those people, you get super excited. You start to smile from ear to ear, right? You get motivated. You get excited. You'd be willing to do anything for this person, even die, right? This is for me, my Dee Dee, right? My wife. This is my Jalen, my son. This is my Jada, my daughter, right? This is my Vanessa, my mom, all right? So that's where I want you to start. I want you to just write down the name of those people that have your heart. They warm your heart, all right? I want you to write their names down. All right, now here's what I want you to do for me. Okay, and so I want you to write down whatever your dreams and your goals are, especially as it relates to them. You know, I was telling somebody recently as a high school dropout, somebody that was homeless and lived in abandoned buildings, that the drive you see now and the passion that you see, like I didn't always have that. I'll be honest. I don't know that while I might have been born with it, I sure didn't tap into it. But it was the year of 1995. It was July 20th, right? I remember my son Jalen being born. When I tell you guys, I had gotten my GED, went to college, got kicked out, was on academic probation. I went back, finished the 4-year degree, got the master's, the PhD. Jalen gave me a drive, right? My wife and I, I got my credit up. We bought our first home, our second home. We just purchased our 3rd home. Jalen gave me that drive, guys. That drive I didn't have before. So that's why I'm saying to you, because what I realized is that sometimes in life, the people that mean the most to us, they give us a gear that we didn't have before, a drive that we didn't have before, passion that we didn't have before. So the reason why I ask you to write their names down is because I'm just going to be honest. There are those of us who said this year we were going to lose weight and we didn't. Why? Because if the only person you have to answer to is yourself, sometimes it's not enough. For real, you'll make a goal for yourself and sometimes you won't keep it. But when you start saying, I'm going to do this for my son, or I'm going to do this for my daughter, it gives you a drive. It gives you energy. It gives you a get up and go that you didn't have before. So again, I want you to write their names down. Then I want you to just write down the goals as it relates to this company. All right? As it relates to this company, what are the things that you could do for your family that you couldn't do if you didn't work here? What are the things that you couldn't accomplish on your own? I want you to think about that. Why? Because I don't think you need a new job, or I don't think you need to do something outside of sales. That's not it. I think what you need, though, is a new perspective. What I think you need is a way to look at life in a way you weren't looking at life before. The reason why you're giving 50% sometimes, 70% sometimes, the reason why you're not giving 120 is because of who you're doing it for. If you're doing it for a check, sometimes that's just not enough. Or it's enough for the first year or the first 5 years. It's not enough for 10. Or it might be enough when everything is going well. But when things get rocky like this pandemic, it's not enough. So I want you to write down who. And I want you to think about them day and night, in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. Instead of coffee, because coffee doesn't always give you that intrinsic value you need to do what you do. Instead of coffee, instead of a soda or pop, whatever you call it, instead of a Pepsi or a Coke, I want you to be driven by your loved ones. Now, here's what I want you to ask yourself. What would happen if you didn't have this opportunity? What would happen if you weren't in sales? What would happen if you weren't doing this particular work in the medical field? What would happen to the ones you love? And now what would happen for them and to them if we gave 120%? Now I want you to do me a favor, all right? So you've written their names down. All right, I just got a couple things I want to share with you. Number one, I want to share with you, control your destiny. Come on. Look, the difference between giving 120, the difference in doing the same work you're doing right now, but not do it average, not do it good, but to be able to do it in a great way. The only difference is we're not being controlled, we're controlling. Okay, so what do you mean by that? So when you get to my level, right, I start doing TGIM. Thank God. What up? It's your boy E.T. Bring it from the bottom. Thank God it's Monday. I start doing that every Monday. Now, when did I start? I started in 2007, 2008 when we had a recession, right? I was actually in Michigan, now born in Chicago. But for the most part, I spent the majority of my life as a young man in Detroit. And so I don't know if you remember the first recession, but it hit Ford, GM, and Chrysler. So there were literally people in Michigan committing suicide. There were literally people in Michigan like having mental breakdowns, right? We were going through it in the state of Michigan. And I asked myself, as an American, as somebody that grew up in a country that there are so many opportunities, it's like, you got to do your part. And so I started going online, and listen to me, listen to me very closely, I control the pandemic at that time. I controlled it. Right? We were in a recession. I controlled it. Instead of thinking about it in a negative way, instead of talking to people about it in a negative way, instead of feeling like a victim, I was like, yo, control your destiny, E. You can get on every Monday and you can put out a positive message. And I started putting out a positive message, and people start responding to it. People were listening to it regularly. People who had failed a bar exam, pumped up, taking it again. People with cancer, listening to it through chemotherapy. People who were getting a divorce, got back. Like my video, I took control. And all of a sudden, putting up videos on YouTube for free, I became a YouTube sensation and eventually became the #1 motivational speaker in the world. Eventually started doing the NFL, the NBA, started doing corporate work, voiceovers, schools. Like I started getting endorsements from a different. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I took control of my destiny. I need you to take control of your destiny. I need you to stop being a victim. I need you to stop looking at things from a negative perspective, and I need you to say, I will take control. I will not let something or someone take control of me. I will take control. I say it, I will take control. I will control my destiny. And I went from doing YouTube, which wasn't popular at the time. I went from doing free videos on YouTube to now being one of the #1 motivational speakers and the #1 consulting company in the world.